Broncos earn a trip to the AFC Championship game thanks in huge part to this play from Jaquan McMillan in overtime, picking off Josh Allen on a pass intended for Brandon Cooks. The replay held up. The Broncos were awarded the football, and with that football and that opportunity, the Denver Broncos go down the field, get a couple of pass interference calls of their own, leading to this Will Lutz game-winning field goal, sending the Broncos to the AFC Championship game, a game they will host their winners 33-30. Hey, everybody, welcome to Game Day Highlights, the digital weekend. Patrick Claybon here in the NFL LA newsroom, fresh off the Broncos win over the Buffalo Bills. How did they get there? What did they do in the road ahead? A lot for us to discuss here, so let's discuss it with our very own Mark Ross here joining us via remote. Mark, an incredible performance and a clutch performance by that Broncos defense coming up big late.
Well, this is what we expect from the Broncos all season long, right, Patrick? I mean, it doesn't matter, 3 quarters, 3.5, 4. Broncos just get winning time, and they go get it done. 8 game-winning drives for Bo Nix in the fourth quarter or overtime this season. They never seem to be out of it. Didn't play their best, but Buffalo, 5 turnovers. You can't expect to go into a playoff game or any game with 5 turnovers and expect to win, Patrick. But resiliency from Denver, as we've seen all season long.
And we saw them start off playing somewhat conservative, get a nice gain on a screen to R.J. Harvey. And then it was all deep shots, Mark, that ultimately got them the flags that they needed to get down the field for Will Lutz.
That was in the game plan, Patrick. Just chuck it up, get these pass interferences on the last drive of the game to go win. I mean, that one was, a little question, was grabbing the arm there. And then we'll see another one as well right here. Another deep shot, just chuck it up. Tre'Davious White just trying to catch up, and that definitely was pass interference. Hey, you got to call it there. It was obvious, unfortunate for the Bills, but great play calling there from Sean Payton and Bo Nix to just chuck it up and go get that, to get the chunk yards, to get it in field goal range.
And so the Buffalo Bills conceding on that particular drive, but they had a drive towards the end of regulation to get Matt Prater out to get a game-tying field goal. Mark, this game back and forth, and ultimately a lot of folks are only going to remember those final plays, those final crucial plays, but both teams making plays necessary to get to that point in the game. The big takeaway from the loss for Buffalo for you?
Well, as I just said, you can't turn the ball over 5 times, and Josh Allen turned it over 4 times. 2 interceptions and 2 fumbles. As magnificent as he's been, as magnificent as he was with the positive plays tonight, you can't turn it over 4 times and expect to win. Cook had to fumble as well. So when your 2 best players give away 5 turnovers, that's not a formula to go win. And for Denver, they'll take it. And for the Bills, it's another season of what ifs. And, they were that close despite the 5 turnovers to winning the game. But any game I've ever been a part of, from Pop Warner to high school to college to the NFL, the turnover battle, the head coach says, let's win a turnover battle, we'll win the game. Well, obviously, you can't do that with 5 in this game and expect to win. And it came back to get them, Patrick.
Let's take a look at the numbers for both quarterbacks. Josh Allen throws for 283 yards. Bo Nix, 279. Of course, the turnovers heavily favoring the Buffalo Bills, who had those 5 turnovers. But looking at Bo Nix, 26 of 46, 279, 3 touchdowns, just 1 interception. Mark, there were several times, including a crucial 3rd and 12, a 3rd and 11 on a drive that they needed to get 6 points on. They got those. What do you think about the performance from Bo Nix to get the #1 seed to the AFC Championship?
Well, again, much like we've seen this year with the Broncos, when he doesn't play his best or play at a high level and they still find ways to win. And, he wasn't great today either. He was off target a lot, and the 2 big plays at the last drive were off of pass interferences. It wasn't as if, he hit big shots, but he made enough plays. He did enough and made enough plays. That was a magnificent throw right there, but did miss a lot as well. But it didn't matter because Buffalo kept gifting them turnovers and getting the ball back in their hands. I mean, they didn't run the ball well either, so he was the leading rusher. Bo Nix with his legs really kept them in early. That was their rush game, was Bo Nix with his legs. So today he really was better with his legs than his arm, but made enough plays when he needed it, Patrick. They gritted it out. They find ways to win at the end, once again, like they did much of the season with 8 fourth-quarter and overtime victories. So this was a typical Broncos victory, and they'll take it to move on.
One part of it that was atypical, Mark, the Broncos finished this game with 3 receivers. Pat Bryant gets injured in the first quarter. It's Mims, it's Sutton, and it's Lil Jordan Humphrey. Otherwise, there were no receivers available for the Denver Broncos. How do you think those guys performed considering the circumstances against Buffalo today?
I mean, fantastic, right? Lil Jordan Humphrey was on the Giants a few weeks ago. They let him go. You're the worst team, one of the worst teams in the league. I like, guy, go packing. Like, now you're going to on a team that's going to play in the AFC Championship game, and he made huge plays. And that's what happens in playoff time, Patrick. It doesn't matter regular season. When you get your time, when you get your time in the spotlight in a playoff game, it's all about just making one play. One play could absolutely change a game. And these guys, despite being the third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh receivers in the rotation there, when they were called upon, they made the plays when you needed it most. And that's what really happens in playoff time. Is it's not about 40 plays. It's about those 1 or 2 plays that will win you a game. And tonight they did that.
Speaking of quarterback wins, Bo Nix, of course, played more college football, notably, famously, more football than anybody else in college. Look at this quarterback wins in the first 2 seasons since 1950. 25 for Bo Nix. Only a couple more. So the availability, not necessarily that high for Bo Nix to catch Russell Wilson in his first couple of seasons. But what a start for Bo Nix. And now his Denver Broncos can go home, maybe watch the game over in the NFC. And then they get a chance to see who they will play in the AFC Championship game. Right now, Mark, if you're a Broncos fan, if you're a Denver Bronco that's going to sit down and watch that game, who would you rather play, the Patriots or the Texans?
Oh, man, that's tough. But I'm thinking, let's get the Patriots here, because that defense of the Texans, like, they almost mirror each other where, okay, 2 nasty defenses, but I think the Texans defense can control games even more. I've been saying that since midseason, Patrick.
Yeah, great football game. 2 very good football teams. History will remember, of course, the Denver Broncos in the 2025 season, marking another frustrating playoff loss for the Buffalo Bills. In terms of the roster construction, they had to go and look to Brandon Cooks, who did play well, was instrumental in getting them here in this point. But do you feel the team's going to be able to rely on Brandon Cooks out wide in 2026 as they try to get back to this point in the postseason?
Yeah, that really is the flaw in the roster construction, as you said, and that was because Keon Coleman, someone they took in the first round a couple years ago, was supposed to be that guy. That's why they took him there, to be that go-to receiver. And, you know, for Josh Allen, it's always been, okay, I got to play hero ball. Who's with me? Well, Cook, James Cook today was that guy. He was there, but just in the pass game, they just don't have enough. Dalton Kincaid is a fantastic tight end, but just on the outside and as a receiver threat, that go-to player, we've been talking about this for a while here. Stephon Diggs out the building. So fantastic year he has with the Patriots. So for Josh Allen, like, okay, another offseason of where do we go find that number 1 playmaker on the outside, because we have not done a good job of addressing that. And not that it came back to bite them today, but it's definitely a design flaw. And then also the defense, Patrick, where every playoff game, we've been talking about the Bills' defense has given up tons of yards and tons of points and have let them down. And once again, 33 points in a playoff game is not good enough. So really, we're right back to the same issues we've been having with the Bills once again.
Yeah, and then, of course, remember those turnovers, a couple of them putting some quick points on the board, including 3 points immediately at the end of the first half with just seconds to give Will Lutz another opportunity. James Cook averaged 4.9 yards per carry, but also had a crucial fumble. We got more.